Welcome, everybody, to the Dr. Carolyn Dean live radio show featuring Dr. Carolyn Dean. Join Dr. Dean for the next 2 hours, along with her host, cohort, and good buddy, Ginny Sanders, also known as Ginny Almighty. Join Dr. Dean as she shares with us her vast range of experience, knowledge, talent, and wisdom. Phone lines are now open, and we'll be taking your calls from around the world and here in the USA.
Welcome everyone to Dr. Carolyn Dean live here on Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, uniting humankind with universal love, or as I like to say, uniting Dr. Carolyn Dean with the wonderful world of every single person who's listening tonight on the winter solstice and the very first day of the official age of Aquarius, and inside of the Bethlehem star, the most amazing things happening on the planet. And Dr. Carolyn Dean is here to be united with all in that beautiful position and to just totally vibrate her joy and her well-being and her wisdom and her amazing love and the gift of her incredible disposition of health, vitality, and well-being out to the world so that everyone can benefit from what she knows and what she teaches and what she has provided for so many people over the course of so many years. We're so honored to have her with us this evening once again. She comes always bearing the most great gift of herself and all that she knows, and she shares it freely every Monday night here on Dream Vision 7 Radio Network. Also, Dream Vision 7 Radio and TV Network. Subscribe to the YouTube channel and hit the notification bell so that you can be notified of when the show starts every single week, and chat with us live on YouTube. You can also chat with us through Dream Vision 7 Radio Network station and chat with us on the chat line, the live chat line on the station. You can also email us at questions, questions, at drcarolyndeanlive.com. If you have questions after the show, you're listening to the archive through one of our podcasting mechanisms, and you want to communicate with us that way. Now, for those of you who are joining the show for the very first time, and we welcome new listeners every week, I do want to give you the rundown on who you were going to have the tremendous pleasure of listening to. Dr. Carolyn Dean, the author of the Magnesium Miracle, but so much more, a medical doctor, a naturopath, an herbalist, a nutritionist, a counselor, one who has incredible intuition and gifts of discernment, knowing the emotional conflicts of health and disease, as well as the biological conflicts that people experience through malnutrition, mineral deficiency, yeast overgrowth, and a myriad of other challenges that we have in our environment today, toxic overload on the body, all kinds of other things, viruses, shall we say that. And but she's got it all. She's figured it all out. She knows how to zag. She knows how to bring the good information to every single person who joins us on the show, whether you're emailing, again, calling in live, or chatting with us on YouTube or through the radio station. Now, let me also say this is not a medical advice show. We don't give medical advice, but what we do is we talk about how you can use safe strategies. What is that? Nature. What is that? Vitamins and minerals, good food, exercise, fresh air, walking, breathing, talking, living, loving life, using your mind appropriately to fortify your health, vitality, well-being, and to bring yourself to a new level of balance, of homeostasis, and of allowing that body, that intelligent design that we know we're all gifted with, to serve you in bringing you to the next level of life and joy as well. So we're so happy to have her with us today. If you have, again, an interest in calling into the show, all that information is on the website. We take calls after we hear Dr. Dean's opening remarks. And so for now, with tonight, our topic being the ultimate holiday wish for 2020, Remag for all, we welcome our very own, our dashing, our delovely, our totally delightful Dr. Carolyn Dean.
Yay. Thank you, children. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ginny. Thank you, everybody. So here we are. You're talking about the gifts. Well, the gift we share every week on our Dream Vision radio show, Ginny, and every day with our amazing products and amazing customer service. But we also, for the very first time, are offering the opportunity to purchase gift certificates for our formulas for the holidays. And it was something that Chad came up with because, as he said in today's RNA Reset marketing blog, great picture of a bunch of Santas lined up waiting for their bags to deliver. And the title says, "While Santa's stuck in traffic, only a few days till Christmas, and there are probably still a few special someones who you haven't found a gift for yet. Do you want to fight the last minute shopping, etc., etc.?" So it goes on that since we care about health, then why not give more than just a gift? Help invest in their long-term health. This is for your friends and family. This is the best way to show them you care and you want them to be in your life for many years to come. So it's an RNA Reset Gift of Health card. And I guess, let me do it right here. You click on the card, and what has Chad set up? So he set up a page where you can click on a quantity, with the number of cards. You can click on a $35, $50, $75, or $100 gift card. So I think that's pretty awesome. I suppose a lot of companies do this. We just never have, but it makes sense, right, Ginny?
Yes, yes, absolutely. I think I actually do think we did it maybe 2 years ago, but we don't promote it heavily. It's a standing feature on our website, but it's not something we go all in on all the time. But it's just a brilliant idea from Chad at this time, again, because we already knew that the challenges of shipping this time of year with the COVID, you want to talk about inflammation and swelling. I mean, the Postal Service is beyond itself in its capacity and ability. But fortunately, another super cool and groovy thing is that we are now in the position starting in January to offer UPS in addition to the Postal Service to our consumer clients. We do have it for our professional clients, but we're flipping it over into the consumer side. So, and actually these last packages this last week, we have been throwing on the UPS pile as well. So we're getting them out to you as fast as we can. Thank you everybody for your patience. And then you'll have even more options next year. So that's really exciting. And then we have our amazing team of shipping angels, which will be unnamed of who they are, but they are there. And I have said many times, hey, you guys got to get this box out of here for me, and whatever wedge it's wedged into, and get it where it needs to go. And you know what? It always happens. So we've got that going for us too.
Commanding the angels. I know just before we came on, we were talking to Rachel, our producer at Dream Vision, and a friend of hers at the post office, her local post office, said that they have just this mountain of packages in the corner, and the trucks line up trying to dump their loads, and they dump around the edge of the mountain, and they pull from the edge and never get to the center. I mean, how can that even be possible? Yeah. And my favorite postal worker, Jimmy, that delivers to us, he comes sometimes three times a day. I see him on Sundays dropping packages. I give the poor guy restructure and give him presents all the time, because look what he's doing. He was hobbling with a bad knee once, and I gave him Remag lotion, and he said it helped. Help your postal worker. It is not their fault. And when I hear people sort of putting down, well, post office delivering that, I really get annoyed. I yelled at someone on my beach walk one day when he said his RNA products didn't get here, and the postal workers and this and that. I yelled at him because we have to support our postal workers. They're doing an incredible job. So that's our gift, is this gift certificate. And if you go on the page that Chad worked out, he's got it all detailed. Gift cards are delivered to you by email almost immediately and contain instructions to redeem them at checkout. You can then forward the gift card to your recipient by email. There'll probably be a special number you have to use. So when making a purchase in the store, a customer can redeem the value of a card by entering in a unique code at checkout. So there you go. So it's all, it's all kind of seamless, and it does make it easy for folks to give, a better gift. I'm receiving from some of our suppliers the bag of, the box of chocolates or a bottle of wine, which is really not on my food list.
I know, but Carolyn, did you get my chocolates yet?
Oh, no. And Bob and I are fasting to get ready for Christmas Day. So
very good. I mostly sent them to Bob because I know he likes those kinds of things.
Bob is yelling, "Thank you, Jenny." I'll hide them in the freezer. Bob won't know where to find them.
There you go.
And so that's awesome. That's very seasonal. But I want you to tell me a holiday story. I've got a holiday story about my Uber driver. I know you have incredible interactions with your friends and family about what's going on with them and our products. Do you have? I know I'm just pulling this out of the the blue sky. Do you have any stories to share?
Well, I actually do. It's actually really great. We have here in the Charlotte area, we have a gal who runs a major health outreach through one of the non-denominational churches down in Charlotte. And she contacted me at the beginning of the year and asked if I would come down and talk about Remag. And James and I were all ready to go down there. And then the COVID hit. And so we didn't go because social distancing and jetta. But what actually ended up happening was she ended up hooking up with Julie through our customer service. And she's been on the products for months. And she's having and experiencing her own great health recovery, which I just think is so much fun. So she just emailed me today to say Merry Christmas. And I don't know if you even know this, but I did, when you couldn't come, I got the products anyway. Then I got involved with Julie, and she's been a great support. And I've had all these wonderful things happening. And of course, one or two little challenges. But once your body shows any proclivity to respond to our products, which of course they all do because they're completely alive, then you just know that if it can respond to this, it can respond to anything. And then it's just a waiting game, really. So there's my happy Merry Christmas story.
Awesome. So with me, we do Uber here on the island. So Bob and I Ubered to our chiropractor one day, and we had a very nice Uber driver. And I think I got in right away. We got into health for some reason. Usually I don't, I'm not a proselytizer. I wait for people to ask me. So all of a sudden I was talking to this guy about the fact that he's in his mid 40s and he's on 6 medications for blood pressure, diabetes, and cholesterol. I talk about it all the time. So what I did in a couple of days after, I was going up to the the farm. I help the farm I'm supporting on their Saturday market. So instead of driving up with a friend, because I don't drive, I got him to do a private drive. So I spent the whole drive up, which is like 35 minutes. We're talking about his health and everything. And I gave him a bunch of money and I said, I want you to use this money to get the products. And he was into it. I mean, I guess he's from the Philippines. He's got 3 kids. 2 of them are in their 20s. His father died of a sudden heart attack. So, he was well on the way to following his father's footsteps, for Pete's sakes. But he understood everything that I told him about. I kind of give people the story and I say, well, is this what happened to you? You go into your doctor, you have high blood pressure, and they say, oh, you should take this diuretic or this drug. And then you go back and it's no better. So they give you another couple drugs. And you go back and all of a sudden your cholesterol and your blood sugar are out of whack. And he's, oh my gosh, that's exactly what happened. And so I've been back and forth with him to the farm a couple of times now, and he's lost weight. He feels better. His blood sugar is down. His blood pressure is down. And I just sort of gave him some scenarios about what would happen the next time with his doctor, that he could say to his doctor, these things are down, I'm feeling better. Can I wean off my medications? Because we never tell people to stop their meds. And that's often the first thing people ask, should I stop my meds? Or, in the case of some people who are just so adamant about drugs, they refuse to take drugs and they say, I'll make Remag or I'll make Magnesium cure me. You cannot play that game. If your doctor is saying you should take some medication, I would recommend you take the medication, but you also take the Remag and the pico potassium and your Remide. You can't expect Magnesium to do all the heavy lifting. So anyway, with my Uber driver, it's been just fantastic. I kind of miss the patient interaction. I love the patient education. I love answering the emails that customer service sends to me. But pretty much, Jenny and Lisa and the team are taking care of everything. So that was really fun to me, that this guy's going to have a great Christmas because he's feeling healthier, and he's going to be able to get off his medications and not have this hammer hanging over his head that he's going to die young like his father did. So there.
Yeah, that's absolutely fantastic. That is so amazing. Good for you. That's awesome. Awesome. Yeah. Well, you do have that is one thing. I mean, you do have a lot of people, we don't call them patients because they're customers and this, that, but that are always though writing their testimonials to you. But that interaction, of really being able to do the one-on-one, that's very gratifying, I'm sure. Yeah, because you are a great teacher. Great teacher.
Yay.
Yay.
So a couple things before we get to the blog that Jenny sent out this morning about our happy holiday times. There's a vitamin D and COVID-19 video about the evidence for prevention and treatment of coronavirus using vitamin D. And I sent Ginny the URL. She knows about the video anyway, but Ginny can put that on the chat. So it's a wonderful overview. It has all the studies showing the importance of vitamin D that we knew about long before COVID came along, because it was helpful for people, their lungs, and the various things that vitamin D will do. But Ginny, like most of these reports, they forgot the importance of magnesium in the activation of vitamin D. They just totally left it out of the equation. And actually, one of my cohorts on, I'm just looking for his email, on the Orthomolecular News Service we belong to, they have the longest editorial board I've ever seen in my life. So one of the doctors, when I wrote on the Orthomolecular forum about this video, which actually I learned about from the Orthomolecular people, I wrote in the forum that, yeah, exactly as I'm saying to you, this is a wonderful video, but they're forgetting the role of magnesium in activating vitamin D. So one of the doctors wrote to me and he said, "Hi, Carolyn. Recently, I developed a mild viral infection. Fearing it might be COVID, I took 250,000 units of vitamin D3. 200, I've never heard of such a high dose myself, but he probably took 50,000 units. And he said that seemed to stop it. However, about a day later, I awoke with a pulse rate of 100, a temperature slightly elevated. And he said, our friend Henry Lahore, who has a website called Vitamin D Wiki, told me that I should be taking magnesium with the vitamin D. I do take about 400 milligrams of magnesium chloride each day, but I had not taken a dose commensurate with the vitamin D, higher vitamin D dose. After taking magnesium that morning, my pulse rate returned to near normal. Could not taking high dose magnesium with high dose vitamin D explain my high pulse rate? So I wrote back and said the following: absolutely seems to be magnesium deficiency. I learned about magnesium deficiency symptoms in high dose vitamin D when people began getting the 50,000 IU doses several years ago. People who had been doing well saturating themselves with Remag and eliminating magnesium deficiency conditions, of which there are 65 different magnesium deficiency conditions. These customers began telling me they had a return of their magnesium deficiency symptoms: tachycardia, atrial fibrillation, migraines, pain, anxiety, insomnia, etc. So I sent them the book about the 65 conditions. I continued. When I researched and found out that 8 steps in vitamin D activation require magnesium, I had my answer. And actually, you can find, there's a chart showing the 8 steps. I'll send this, hopefully the URLs are here for the chart, but I love charts and pictograms and all. So I'll send it to Ginny and she can put that on the chat as well. But I mean, incredible to learn that vitamin D requires magnesium in 8 steps. I mean, how many years have I heard about, magnesium, heard about vitamin D, and no one ever pointed this out. And I forget where I first came across it. It might have been Henry's vitamin D wiki, where for years he'd been sending me things about vitamin D, and then finally I started sending him things back about magnesium and vitamin D, and he created a whole page about vitamin D and magnesium. So he's a believer. So that's the information I want to pass on about COVID, the importance of vitamin D, and also I didn't keep the URL, but Tyler Perry, the awesome film producer, he has let's see if I can find it. Tyler Perry did an 11-minute video about about using vitamin C, vitamin D, and zinc
Yeah, the
for
color of,
COVID
yeah,
prevention. I mean,
color
he's
of
the
COVID.
first person in the media to put that out for people. So let me see. Oh, videos for Tyler Perry. Did you save it when I sent it to you, Ginny?
Yeah, and I posted it.
The Colors of COVID. Okay, so it's called The Colors of COVID, and it's on YouTube. So just Google that. And it's something you can send to friends and family because it's well produced and everything. And it gets the information out there. Of course, they don't mention magnesium. So I told Ginny, well, that's something maybe we'll have to look at next year is putting out a documentary on magnesium. So I never asked you, Ginny, what did you think of that idea?
Can you hear me? Carolyn, can you hear me?
Scrambling for the unmute button.
Why can she not hear me?
Uh-oh.
Rachel.
Am I on?
Yes, you're on.
Let me look at my Zoom.
Yes.
I hear both of you.
Okay. Rachel.
Somebody tell me if I'm on.
Yes.
Rachel?
Yes, you're on. You both are on.
Carolyn, can you hear me?
Or Ginny?
Yeah.
I will check my text to see.
Yes, you are.
Bob, can you hear me on the radio?
Yes, you are on. You are on. Oh, dear.
So Bob hears me on the radio. I don't hear Ginny or Rachel, but I'll keep talking until Bob tells me I'm no longer on. The next topic I have is an orthomolecular news service press release. Now, I've talked about this group, the orthomolecular people. Okay, Ginny's there. And I can't hear her. So what have I done? Maybe my audio has gone off. Yeah, sometimes that happens. Okay, I'm back. I'm sure you're on here now, Ginny. No, you never scream. That was my audio going off. So anything to say about the colors of COVID or anything like that before I go into the orthomolecular press release?
I did post the color of COVID on the YouTube, on our Facebook, and it's on the chat line. I thought it was very, very well done.
Mm-hmm.
And it's sad to see that there's so few views to it because it should really be viral. I mean, it's only got like 15,000 views. I don't know why they've got big heavy hitters on there that could be circulating. But anyway, it's very, very well done. So I'm going to post it and ask everybody to share it again in their social media networks, just because it doesn't necessarily pertain to you doesn't mean that you can't share it in your social media networks. And I agree, Carolyn, that we should introduce you to Tyler Perry, and you guys should partner on why magnesium's needed for vitamin D, and why the the color of magnesium is the one we should be doing, because the African American community is very compromised in their magnesium deficiency. They're a high risk group. They have a lot of diabetes and a lot of other cardiovascular issues. And they absolutely positively can benefit from knowing this. So maybe we'll try to get a hold of Tyler Perry and see what we can do there.
Okay, let's do it.
All right.
Okay, the OMNS press release, the latest one, December 20th. Why are there fewer nutrients in our food? I know most of our listeners probably already realize this, but this is really important, because even though people say, oh, I'm eating better and I'm this and I'm that, it really doesn't matter. As I've said many times, that ship has sailed. There's fewer and fewer nutrients in the food. And if you go to the link that Ginny will put up and read this press release, it's just appalling. Fruits and vegetables, the nutrient content has declined by up to 50% and continues to decline. They quote me about 5 or 6 times through this press release from the Magnesium Miracle. And I say a century ago, the magnesium content of our diet was about 500 milligrams per day, but that has dropped to 175 to 225 milligrams a day. And up to 50% of the population in North America is magnesium deficient. I think it's more like 80%, but I can only go by the references. And depletion is caused by the minerals in the soil going into the plants and not being replaced. There's also erosion of the topsoil. Genetically modified organisms make food actually not healthy. The use of all the pesticides kills insects, worms, and soil microbes that we know are essential for healthy plants. We proved that in our radish experiment. And herbicides such as Roundup bind up magnesium, manganese, and other mineral ions, preventing them from being absorbed by plants. It just goes on and on and on. Plants grown on soil contaminated by acid rain, they're deficient in minerals. And even though there are remedies, they call them soil amendments. You can use rock dust to produce the trace minerals needed. People aren't using them. They cost something, so they'd rather just put in some nitrogen and potassium and make the plants look good, but they don't have anything that will support our nutrition. If you're doing gardening, and that's what we'll have to get to, use Epsom salts for the magnesium sulfate. Use that at least. And the book I think they're recommending is called The Intelligent Gardener. And they talk about the importance of amending the soil, et cetera, et cetera. So those are the preambles. Our blog that Ginny puts out every Monday, and she already introduced it. The holiday season is upon us, and in 2020, it comes with the additional stress of the unknown, and many having to navigate a whole host of circumstances and health challenges that we haven't faced before, which is just so horrible. So in this time of unprecedented contrast and stress, mental and physical challenges, we have the ultimate holiday wish for one and all, the joyful expectation of a wonderfully healthy, happy body and mind. And we're saying that's with our magnesium, with Remag. A recent Gallup poll suggests that 8 out of 10 Americans are stressed. And with numbers as high as these, it pays to consider natural solutions like magnesium for improving wellness. Now, Ginny, do we have an anxiety webinar? I know we have an anxiety forum, radio show forum. So we have those types of anxiety resources, don't we?
Oh yeah, we have a webinar on anxiety. It's great. Yep. And all of our webinars can be found on drcarolyndeanlive.com now under the tab at the top in the right called webinar, or you can just even search that. But let me see where the anxiety one was. I think it's on magnesium deficient anxiety. It's on the 3rd page.
Right. And I have a magnesium deficient anxiety booklet as well, free ebook. And in there, I talk about what Ginny mentions next in her blog, that another resource that I tell people to print up this. I mean, it's like 300-400 page book. It's a free online book called Magnesium in the Central Nervous System. And it correlates magnesium and stress reduction, gives the documentation. The book has, I've forgotten how many chapters, maybe it's in the 20s. And it's all research chapters showing the importance of magnesium in the central nervous system. And if you have friend or family who's having some sort of nerve problem and you think it's related to magnesium, print up this book and just plunk it down on the doctor's desk, for Pete's sakes. And see, a lot of times because doctors haven't learned anything about mineral deficiency in their education, they just want a reference. They want to be able to say to the administrator of their HMO that they have proof that this could be helpful. They don't want to be just flying by the seat of their pants with no reference. So that's all you're doing, is providing them with a kind of a safety net of research that shows, oh yeah, I can recommend magnesium to my patients on top of their 12 chemical medications, all of which have side effects. But continuing on, in the blog that Ginny wrote, claims are made that both magnesium deficiency and stress feed off each other and create adverse effects within the body. Furthermore, the book that I mentioned, Magnesium in the Central Nervous System, concludes that magnesium deficiency is associated with several stress-related conditions, including photosensitive headaches, fibromyalgia, auditory stress, so that's noise, and that's our, airline pilots, flight attendants, musicians, people in factories, anything where you have to wear earplugs. You want to be taking magnesium because that stress depletes magnesium. Chronic fatigue syndrome, cold stress, and physical stress. So in the winter months, that's when you hear about people shoveling their driveways and dying of a sudden heart attack because all their magnesium is used up. So continuing, in studies, cortisol and adrenaline production were also associated with magnesium deficiency. These byproducts stemming from a fight or flight reaction often come during times of anxiety or stress. So when the body experiences more stress, it naturally uses more magnesium. This further reduces the body's magnesium stores, causing a greater deficiency. It doesn't matter what causes the stress a person is experiencing. Anytime you experience the effects of increased worry and anxiety, the body will require more magnesium to function correctly. To recover from stress, it's vital to get a full restful sleep, another area that magnesium plays a role in. And studies indicate that magnesium promotes healthy sleep by activating the parasympathetic nervous system, which helps you feel relaxed and calm. And I guess we're really continuing to emphasize magnesium and stress. We've done a radio show form on it with our guest customer panelists. It's all over our Instagram pages that Kate puts up. It's in the messaging that Chad sends, but we cannot stress it enough, because a lot of people, they kind of don't believe it. They think, well, this is the most horrible I've felt in my life. How can a little mineral help? And we tell you it will help. You really just have to give it a try, or, get your loved ones to give it a try. Actually, the other day on Bob's radio show on Saturday, Susanna gave us an update on her 93-year-old mother and how Susanna had started trying to help her mother with her rheumatoid arthritis, her insomnia, her anxiety, a whole host of problems back when she was in either her late 80s or early 90s. And she couldn't talk her mother into using anything. No, I just have to take my drugs. These are what my doctor gave me. So what Susanna did is she changed out her mother's body lotion and put Remag lotion in the bottle. And, her mother just used it, her hands and her arms and wherever. And it wasn't long before her mother would say, no, for some reason I feel better, whatever. So then I don't know if Susanna ever told her mother that what was in her bottle, but after a while, because her mother started to feel better, and Susanna said, well, why don't you take this? It'll make you feel even better. Because there's a certain part of a person that thinks, well, I'm feeling bad and I'm only going to get worse. And when she started feeling a bit better, then she thought, well, I want to feel even better. Maybe I'll just start taking some supplements. So I think now she's on Remag, Remite, Pico Silver, Pico Zinc, and maybe some others, probably Realign, I'm not sure. And I think within the year, her rheumatoid blood factors went negative. And within the 2 years, she lost the nodules and inflammation and stiffness and even the frozen nature of her thumb. So her finger joints all went back to normal. And she lost the inflammation and the pain. The only pain she has, for which she does take pain medication, is a bone-on-bone osteoarthritis of one of her knees. So, and her, anxiety, if she had depression, those things all cleared. And with no expectations of any of this, it was a great experiment. So that's what we offer. We tell you to try to talk your friends and family, your parents into taking these formulas so they will have a healthier process, instead of thinking that they're aging and will end up with tubes in every orifice and on a whole host of medications. They don't have to be that way. They can have a healthy aging process, although we don't really believe in aging. So anything to add to that, all that, Ginny? I know I've talked and we will get to our chat line and callers very shortly.
Yep.
So
no problem, because it's very valuable. And I think that's what a lot of people, we have scads, and Susanna is one of them, testimonials of what these products have done for people's family members. And you do have to be insistent. It's not something they're going to naturally gravitate toward. And people who are in the older generations beyond us, Carolyn, have been very conditioned by the medical model, and they are afraid. And so they're going to more inclined that way. But I think, when Greg's father was alive, he would come down from Canada with a huge blister pack of those ridiculous drugs, remember? And I threw him out. And then we would pump him full of all of our products, and he'd be absolutely fantastic for the 3 or 4 weeks he was here. And then he'd go back home, and Greg's sister would get the blister pack right back out and started pushing all the pills on him again. And his health would decline. It is an incredible toxic load to put on an elderly person, all those drugs. It's just diabolical. It's just horrible.
Wow. Yeah, I've never heard you explain it that way, but that's a perfect experiment.
That's exactly,
yeah, on the drugs and off the drugs, on the products and off the products. It's amazing.
And of course, Greg, and I mean, it was all unnecessary, 3 statins, as we know, and a metformin for diabetes that he didn't have. It was interesting to see that it was just a blister pack, Carolyn. It's just a chemical cocktail of 10 different things. Oh, sure. And a 500 IUs of vitamin D or something stupid like that, and insignificant. And like I said, I just tossed him out, and we just pumped him full of our minerals and the drops and everything else like that. And he was great, and just got so vibrant and felt so wonderful, and got rid of all of his brain fog and his confusion. And then he'd go right back up there, and they slapped him right back on it. And then, of course, Paula, anyway, it doesn't matter. But the point is it all those pills. I mean, just the digestive distress, right?
Right, right. And see what happens, this blister pack business, see, they package them all together because if if a patient has a symptom of their blood sugar or their cholesterol or their blood pressure or their heart, like atrial fibrillation, right away doctors say, oh, well, you're going to be at risk for everything. If you have one of those, you're going to be at risk for all of them. So let's just give you all the drugs for all four conditions right now and try to prevent it. They're actually using these chemicals and pretending they're for prevention, whereas what they all do is cause, like Ginny says, so much stress and distress and magnesium deficiency. So they're actually creating more and more symptoms because magnesium deficiency is related to heart arrhythmia, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and high blood sugar. I mean, my Uber friend is proving that right before my eyes. 45 years old. He's on 6 drugs and already on just a couple of weeks of Remag. He's going to start Remite this week. I'll find out on Saturday how he's doing. Just a couple of weeks on Remag because he's young. He's feeling better. His blood sugar is lower. His blood pressure is lower. He'll get his cholesterol test in a month and find that that's lower too. So this is what we're doing, folks.
Yeah, it's so exciting too when you see that happening, and then he's just going to keep layering on. My new favorite thing in the whole wide world is pico potassium. I went through my huge zinc phase, couldn't get enough of that, and now I'm like pico potassium freak. I mean,
Really?
oh yeah, our stuff is so great. And it was funny because I was getting cramps in my legs at night, and I didn't know why.
Uh-huh.
And then I started pounding the pico potassium, and it's all gone, and a bunch of other stuff, that I didn't even know was related. But then I started looking at it, and we're going to have so much fun with this chronometer thing, Carolyn. But when I started looking at how much potassium I was getting, it wasn't hardly any because I was doing keto. So, and I wasn't thinking about it. I was just, doing my thing, buzzing around all day. So anyway, boy, that potassium, as a matter of fact, I started putting it. So I thought, well, if potassium's helped me so much, I wonder what it would do for baby, my dog. And so I started putting it in baby's water, and she's just gotten so sparky.
Oh, wow. Yeah, Baby's the awesome dog that got run over by a teenager who we hope ends up in a detention center at some point in his life. But anyway.
While she was walking with me on a leash in my neighborhood. So it was not good all the way around. I almost got hit by the car, but the point is she's a valiant warrior, but she does have some hip problems and stuff. And so I started giving her, I thought, well, you know what? I'm going to see what this does for her. And boy, it just boosted her energy right up.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I guess as I wrote in I have a free ebook, the Pico Potassium, subtitle Magnesium's New Best Friend or something like that. It's true. If we can get people to take the Pico Potassium with their Remag, it's well worth it. And if we find people who just want to take Remag and that's all they think they need, customer service encourages them to know and learn that better absorption of magnesium is with potassium and vice versa. And they both seem to have similar symptoms and not much credence was given to potassium supplementation. Doctors just kept saying, oh, you'll get in your food, don't worry about it. And also the FDA had this very strange report that they followed. I think I tracked it down to the 1950s where they found that the time-release potassium, a medical prescription, was responsible for creating ulceration in the intestines, because when the varnish coating wore off the potassium pill, it's kind of burnt the intestines. So they said you can't you can't give potassium as a supplement. And they didn't bother to look and find out that the population is becoming more and more deficient in potassium. So they put a 99 milligram per dose ruling on supplements. So there aren't that many potassium supplements, because the RDA is 4,700 milligrams. So I got around it in my inimitable way. Right, Jenny?
Yes,
And
yes.
okay, then let's concentrate our pico potassium. Let's make a dose of 99 milligrams equal a quarter teaspoon. So you can get 400 milligrams in a teaspoon, which with our absorption, kind of stands for about 800 milligrams of anything else. But I'm finding most people are needing about 2 teaspoons a day. Would you say that's the case, Jenny?
Yeah, I've been doing 3, but again, like I said, I've been on keto.
Mhm.
But yes, I started out with just, of course I was doing like a half to a teaspoon, just a plunk in
Mhm.
my water. But now I've gotten serious about it, and it's fun.
Mhm. That's wonderful. Yes, if you're using your magnesium and you're getting what we have been calling magnesium deficiency symptoms, it means you either need more Remag or you need to add the pico potassium. That's all there is to it. And probably some people who've been, taking higher and higher amounts of Remag, when you take your pico potassium, you won't need as much Remag. You'll get the saturation effect with a little bit of the laxative effect. So yeah, we're all in a giant, wonderful experiment, and because we can only have good outcomes in the experiment we're doing. Actually, Ginny, I got one of those emails from customer service the other day where, one of our fairly young customers in her 40s, and she described just the horrors of all her symptoms. And she had been taking just a generic magnesium, and she heard about Remag and took it, and just put a small amount in water, and sipped about 5 ounces of this water, and then started to get a lot of detox symptoms, like boom. So she was afraid of taking more, and wanted to know what she could do, because she knew she needed magnesium. But see, that's the beauty, the strength, the quality of our Remag, where someone who's been taking 400 milligrams of just an over-the-counter magnesium, um, compare that to a few drops of Remag, and how much the Remag gets directly into the cells, starts working, starts detoxing the crap that's going on in a person who has a total body meltdown with a couple dozen symptoms. They are toxic, and their body's just holding on by a thread. And then when they take a few drops of Remag and start feeling even, quote, worse, um, we know they really need that magnesium, and they do too for the most part. So I conveyed the story of our customer Lisa, and she came to us many years ago because her daughter was having horrible post soccer game leg cramps. She was playing with the boys soccer team, and I guess she was their kicker. I forget, but she didn't want to stop the game. So we got her on Remag, and she did so well. Then the mom, she finally told me her history, and chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia, allergies, the whole gamut of total body meltdown. And Lisa was the one, I think, that really educated us about starting with a drop of Remag. in 16 ounces of water, sea salted water, and just taking a sip of that per day. And Lisa was actually, she was our guest, Ginny, on our show recently.
Yeah.
And she reminded us of her story. And, you know, she got up to her 2 and 3 teaspoons, and hopefully she's on the pico potassium now. I'm sure we told her about that. But you just have to be patient. And that's what she said. You know, you need your magnesium, you know, Remag is the best. And you just have to start so slowly that you don't, you know, kind of get too revved up. Because if your body's totally exhausted and you start waking up 1,000 enzyme processes, it's your body's going to react. It's going to think that you're under another barrage of stress. So you have to just sneak up on it very slowly. And actually, Ginny, for a number of people, we've started with just spraying some Remag on the skin or doing the Remag lotion. And I can't recall, have we had customers who've said that taking it through the skin has revved them up too much? What's our experience there?
No, not really. It slows it down. I mean, because it is going to be distributed more locally than it is going to be systemically, like when it gets into the bloodstream. I mean, it's going to go into cells, tissues, and stuff on a local basis. I mean, so that's why I would say divide the dose. Yeah.
Right. And we want people to sip through the day. But yes, that's true. If you put it on the skin, it's going to get to your muscle layers and go into the muscle cells and your nerve layers. And it's not going to necessarily get right to your liver and stimulate the detoxification pathways. So yeah, that's good. I learned something. Yay.
We've got 4 minutes to the top of the hour. We have a couple people holding. Thank you, callers. 248-719-910. Quite a few people holding. So let's do this. We're going to start the phone calls right after the top of the hour. Carolyn, we do just want to remind everybody who listens to the radio show as our guest that you do have access to receive a $212 value from Dr. Dean, which is the Grassroots Health research project blood sampling kit. And that is for vitamin D, vitamin magnesium, your essential fatty acids, and also your thyroid. And it's going to let you know where you stand in your health right now. And I really am just insisting that people find out what their levels are so that you can adjust your dosing appropriately and make sure that you're covered with this crazy COVID that's running back around and shaking its angry fist at everybody. So if you have not received that kit and the offer to participate in this research, you're going to get your tracking, you're going to update your progress, but you're going to know your baseline. Please, please, please email support, SUPPORT at rnareset.com. Put in the subject line, Grassroots Health Test Kit Offer, Grassroots Health Test Kit Offer, and let the team get one to you so that you can begin immediately to know where you are with your nutrient blood levels, and we can make sure that you've got what you need to get you through this cold and flu season.
Right. Yes. Great to bring that up, Ginny, because we're talking a lot about vitamin D and the need for magnesium with it. But you do have to know your levels of vitamin D in the blood to know how much vitamin D you need to take. And there's actually, Ginny, we send people to Grassroots Health so they can use the vitamin D calculator, but we should create our own calculator. What do you think?
I think you're right. We'll end up creating everything by the time it's all said and done. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. We'll ask if we can use their plugin. But you know what? Please get your test done for sure. So you'll know where to start with your calculation, because you can't use the calculator without knowing your current level. That's the trick to that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And people who think you only need 1,000 milligram international units, I should say. I don't know how much I was taking with our previous recommendation, but I need 10,000 international units a day, which is 2 of our D3K2 to reach a healthy level.
Yep.
So you may need more than you think.
Yep. All right, let's take a quick break, get some Remag water, and we'll come back with hour 2.
Excellent.
We'll be back with hour 2 of the Dr. Carolyn Dean live radio show, along with host Ginny Sanders, right after this brief station break. You can also get updates and resources online by visiting drcarolyndean.com. That's drcarolyndean.com.
Did you know there are 65 health conditions associated with magnesium deficiency? Magnesium deficiency is a public health crisis growing in scope and proportion. Dr. Carolyn Dean, author of The Magnesium Miracle, has identified over 65 health conditions associated with magnesium deficiency, 100 factors that lead to magnesium deficiency, and 24 reasons why magnesium deficiency occurs. Order The Magnesium Miracle today at Amazon.com and learn how to remedy this pervasive condition.
Do you have questions about your health? Are you wondering about alternatives? Do you ever wish you could have 5 minutes with a doctor you can trust? Someone who is an internationally recognized authority in the field of natural medicine? Meet award-winning doctor, naturopath, and best-selling author of The Magnesium Miracle, Carolyn Dean, MD, ND. Hear a wealth of information designed to empower listeners and callers to discover how to improve health, vitality, and well-being through a variety of safe strategies and nutritional options. Dr. Carolyn Dean Live. Shows can be heard every Monday, 7 to 9 a.m. Eastern, with weekly live shows, 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Time on syndicated Dream Vision 7 radio network.
Natural health, vitality, and well-being. Yes, everyone wants it, but not everyone is sure how to achieve it. Dr. Carolyn Dean's Completement Formulas are more than just dietary supplements. They're whole foods and picometer minerals designed to complete your nutrition, not just supplement it. Experience the difference Dr. Dean's formulas make. Visit RNAreset.com to learn more. That's RNARESET.com.
Omega Institute, offering workshops, retreats, and online learning dedicated to awakening the best in the human spirit. With more than 40 years at the forefront of holistic studies, Omega is known the world over as a trusted source for integrated approaches to personal growth and social change. Located in Rhinebeck, New York, just 90 miles north of New York City, Omega's natural environment and quiet pace allow for extraordinary experiences to unfold. Learn more at eomega.org or call 877-944-2002. Again, 877-944-2002.
This is Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe, relax, and enjoy. Let life flow.
return now to the Dr. Carolyn Dean live radio show, along with her host, cohort, and good buddy, Ginny Sanders. Phone lines are open during live broadcast.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back. Hour 2, Dr. Carolyn Dean live here on Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, uniting humankind with universal love and uniting Dr. Carolyn Dean with her most wonderful radio and YouTube audience joining us tonight and every night. Our Castos audience, our great Amazon podcasting, Apple podcasts. We have so many great audiences all around our international audience. I mean, we just have great people participating in our show. And we're so glad to bring you the good news that your body is an intelligent design that actually have powers beyond what you can even comprehend. And all you need is a little good juju circulating around in your bloodstream. And boy, it's going to do some fantastic things for you, as we know and hear every single week on the show. Thank you for tuning in once again. And Dr. Dean, you are there.
I am definitely here.
Awesome.
I refuse to be anywhere else.
Very good. All right. Well, listen, I am going to put some callers on the line and we're going to have some chitty chats and enjoy our second hour. Are you ripping and raring to go?
Yes. We had a lot of words in the first hour, so it's time to get to our calls.
Okay, very good. All right, so I'm going to go to area code 910 and I'm going to ask you to unmute your phone. Area code 910, you'll see the little blue button and then you'll be able to come into the call with Dr. Dean. There you are. Welcome. Give us your name and then state your question or comment, please.
Hey, what's going on? I just got something quick. I go by Brad. I can't get rid of these muscle twitches. So I was trying to, wonder what I can do differently.
Right. Well, did you hear Ginny talking about potassium? Are you taking your potassium yet?
Yeah, I take the Pico. Well, I don't take it every day, but I take it maybe like 3 times a week.
Well, okay, let's go over it. How much Remag are you taking?
Maybe like 3 capfuls. Not at one time though. Throughout the day.
Yeah. Because what we're finding out is that if people still have what seems to be magnesium deficiency symptoms like muscle twitches or cramps or pain or whatever, and the magnesium isn't covering it, it can be also a potassium deficiency. And it is something that you have to take every day. So you'll have to do an experiment. And I take 2 teaspoons a day, for example. Ginny's taking 3 teaspoons a day. So that would be the next step, is to get your potassium going. Okay. And there is a book on Pico Potassium that I have a free download at drcarolyndeanlive.com under books, and explains why it took me so long to come out with the Pico Potassium product, even though it is really important because we just aren't getting it in our diet anymore. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's true. Well, can you take too much of it?
Well, with you can take too much of anything, that's obvious. But, what you've learned to do with the Remag is you go up slowly, take it through the day. So with the Pico Potassium, you just start with like a half a teaspoon. You put it in your, what I do and what I think works best is put your daily amount of all your minerals in a big glass or jar of water. Put in your 1/4 teaspoon of sea salt, put in your minerals, and just, take a few gulps of that many, many times throughout the day, if that's possible. Put it in your water jug if you're traveling around. And what we do in terms of the taste is we've got our vitamin C berry powder now. And that's got such a great taste. It makes the water, just taste like a soda. And so that helps with the mineral taste.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Yeah.
Well, I just up the pico potassium then and see how that works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to experiment. I don't know you well enough to say exactly what you need, but what we're going by is the example of our customers and our own example. Like, I don't know if you were on the phone to hear what Ginny said. She started getting some leg cramps back, so she thought, oh well, I'll take more potassium and take it every day, and that helped her. So we can only just be our own little experiment, right?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. No, I had just read you have to be careful with a potassium supplement. That's why I was
Well,
asking.
yeah, I know. And that's why I said to look at the book, Pico Potassium, to understand why, doctors have, they say to watch out for it. There can even be cases where they give intravenous potassium and people react. And then they'll say, oh, potassium's bad. But we're not talking intravenous. We're talking about using the pico potassium as if it were a food. And we just don't get it in our food. So that's why we have to take it as a mineral.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. That does
Yeah.
make a lot of sense.
It's what it is medicine, they went down the dark path. They went down the path of the drugs, right? And they
Yeah.
never, even to this day, they don't teach medical students about nutrients. And here I'm trying to educate people and educate the doctors as well, that look, we're missing a great opportunity to help people by not knowing enough about the nutrients. So they'll just go for the dark side and say, oh, you have to take some pills if you have symptoms. Remind me what your story is about your health, Fran.
Well, I was having the palpitate, the heart PVC, like it felt like my heart was like pop for a brief second. It started in February of last year, and I'm assuming that's it's going hand in hand with the muscle twitching, being that the heart is a muscle. I'm assuming.
Yeah, that's right. You got it exactly, because and because it's the heart, you think, oh my gosh, I've got a heart problem. But then we try to tell people, well, it could be a magnesium deficiency problem. So did you get put on medications?
Well, I didn't take it. They prescribed me I think it's propanol or something like that.
Oh yeah, propanolol, exactly. Yeah.
It's supposed to slow the heart rate down, but I didn't take it. I try to go for a more natural way. But they keep telling me it's benign and it's natural. Like some people just more sensitive to it. I'm like, it don't make sense to me for it to be normal if it never happened before.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I just couldn't, get that to make sense to me. So I just started doing research and.
Right. And so how did you find Remag?
It was online. I can't remember what I typed in. And then I seen a YouTube video. And then, it went there. And I looked at more videos and I Googled it.
Right.
And,
But that's what they said. They said that your PVCs were natural, or.
Yeah, I even joined this group on Facebook, and they was telling them the same thing. I had an echo cardiogram did, came back normal. They did out magnesium test. They said it was which I was deficient, but they told me it was normal because they checked it in the blood and it was like a 2 point something. I can't remember the exact level. But
so that would right. And so because it was in the normal range, it sounds like the serum magnesium, because that's like 2.2 to 4.2 is normal. So you were right at the end. You were at the tail end. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. And they told you that was normal. But see, that's got nothing to do with normal, healthy normal. What the blood ranges are is they take the average of the population that walks into that lab. So they'll take all the serum magnesium tests they've done for like 6 months and just average them, and that's their quote normal. It's normal should
Wow.
not be the
Crazy.
word they use, right? Yeah.
I didn't know it was that way.
Yeah, that's the way it is. Yeah. So what they're kind of saying to people is, well, you're in the range of the other people who walk in here. But if you if you realize that 80% of the people that walk in are deficient in magnesium, then it's a whole different story. You've got low magnesium, and they really don't have a good test. That's what our research, university research studies are doing. We're looking at the ionized magnesium test as the way to find out if the ions of magnesium are getting into the cells. And where Remag is so important is that it's a stabilized ion, so it's guaranteed to get in your cells. And we know from our tests that we have this picometer size stabilized ion that stays stable, over years in our bottles. And then that gets absorbed, and it's absorbed within 2 hours. So we've got all this, backup of what we're doing. And then, the biggest backup is, folks like you who take the products and you start feeling better.
Oh yeah, man, you don't understand. I came a mighty long way. Like I was like when it first started happening, I would have eaten, I was losing weight, stressed out, felt like, all I could think about is death. I couldn't get no answer. You go to the doctor for help and they just say it's normal and send you on your way. So you just be miserable. At least I was.
Yeah. So you go to the expert and they give you advice that doesn't help. So that's even more stress on top, because like I said, when I had my heart palpitations, I'd get this thump and my heart would stop for, a couple of beats, and I'd get this cough, I just sort of as I think
it like my heart was like falling kind of sort of.
Yeah, it was like a drop. And I don't know if the cough was like automatic, because they do say you can get your heart rate back if you cough or if you take a deep breath. But it's the scariest thing in the world to have something going on with your heart. So you keep read the Pico Potassium book. You'll understand what I'm saying about it being safe, but they just, for some reason, they don't want people to take it and it's all explained, but don't let it stop you from taking it. Do your own experiment, and maybe just go up to 2 teaspoons a day, but go up slow. Because if your leg cramps go away with with a teaspoon, then you're fine. Okay.
I definitely appreciate it though. I just want to say thank
you. You're welcome. Yeah, it'll make you have a good Christmas, because you were dealing with this for a whole year, weren't you?
Yeah, well, it's a little over a year now, so I think I'm on the verge of being back to normal.
That's cool. That's great, Brent. Thank you so much for calling in. I appreciate your calls, because then we can get an update and fine tune what's going on. Okay.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Thank you. You have a Merry Christmas.
Same to you. Merry Christmas, Brent. Bye-bye.
All right.
Awesome.
Yay! That's awesome.
I know. I know.
Oh, that's just such the most merriest of all the Christmases.
And look at what
right?
Brent said. He was way stressed out. It just escalates and you get worse, and your heart's thumping, and if they advised propranolol, it meant his heart was, he had a tachycardia, a fast rhythm. And in the heart health book, I talk about this, how a magnesium deficiency can start with just a racing heart. And then that turns into anxiety and just the stress of all that. And, to tell a guy who's miserable that these things are normal, his echocardiogram was normal. They lied and said his magnesium was normal. It's just terrible.
Yeah. Yeah.
Terrible. But he found us, and he comes and he hangs out with us every once in a while.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Fantastic. All righty. We shall press on for more good seasonal cheer. This is the seasonal cheer show. I just demand it. Okay. Area code 719. 719. I've asked you to come off of mute with my little blue button. And if you could just, there you are. Hello, 719. Come on in, give us your name, and then state your question or comment.
Hello, this is Pamela, and I do have a few little questions today.
Okay, Pamela.
You mentioned sometime short time ago about that you were putting the Pico silver in a I lost the word, a diffuser. And I was wondering how you do that. Do you mix it with water first? Or I've never used a diffuser.
Right. The Pico silver, I just do it straight. And I go back and forth. I mean, I got a big diffuser and it was a bit of a pain, but Jenny just found a little baby diffuser that you can travel with because she travels a lot. But you can also get a nasal sprayer. Ginny found these as well. She's quite the shopper, Ginny is. and it's a cute little glass bottle with a nozzle that you can just poke gently in your nostril and squirt a couple of squirts of straight Pico silver. So
I just did it a few minutes ago, like that.
What? Well, then And I think when I traveled to North Carolina the 1st of December, so I had it on the plane with me. I squirted myself. Before my COVID nasal swab, and I think it's the way to protect us from what we inhale. But if there are lung symptoms, I would go to the nebulizer because you just want to make it as convenient as possible. And the little mini, good grief, let me see, it's got a long name. I'll just walk over with my
I just bought a little tiny diffuser when I just happened to see it in Walgreens.
Okay, well, again, something that's convenient. This is called a mesh nebulizer, MESH nebulizer. Get it on Amazon. It the mask is actually almost bigger than the unit. I haven't even used it yet. Ginny showed me it send me a little video of it. But yeah, it is important to have these things on hand, Pamela. It really is. Yeah.
That's what I figured. And today I came home and I just wasn't feeling right. And I thought, okay, I got to do something extra here. I need some more silver and zinc.
Exactly. Yeah, because if you may be not feeling okay for a million reasons, but if you can use your silver and zinc and say, okay, I'm covered, it just relieves your mind. It's that simple.
Right.
Good. Yep.
So tell me, is a twitching eyelid a symptom of magnesium deficiency, do you think?
It can be, as well as potassium. It can be both. I'm learning that more and more with the potassium research that I've been doing. So, you might have to start pico potassium or increase it wherever you're at?
Yeah, I've been taking it in small amounts because I haven't had it too long. But in listening to you guys earlier, I thought I went and I crossed off what I'm taking on it, and I upped it. So I'm going to start upping it. But what I did with my eyelid is I thought, well, if this is due to magnesium deficiency, I put some magnesium on my eyelid with mixed in with some cream,
Yes. Yeah, I mean, that could help as well, but it's interesting. It's like the body has a way of dealing in layers of priority. So like with Ginny, she was tooting along just fine, and then she gets her leg cramps, and it's the body saying, okay, you're missing something, deal with it. And she tweaked to the pico potassium. So the eyelid twitching is telling you either you need more Remag or you need more pico potassium. How much Remag are you taking, Pamela?
3 teaspoons a day.
Right. So that sounds about right. Before I started working with the pico potassium, I would think, well, gosh, you shouldn't be having any twitching with 3 teaspoons of Remag. But if you're deficient in potassium, then you can get potassium deficient twitching.
Yeah, that's why I ordered the potassium and got started on that. So I have one other question, and that's about the face cream. Have you had anybody that has gotten rid of wrinkles by using that?
I don't know, because I think the wrinkle remedy has to do with scrubbing your face with what do you call them? Ginny, help me out here. What's a face scrubber called?
Well, you use your grains. You use exfoliator.
Exfoliating. I've been using exfoliating. And it's not a chemical exfoliator. It's just I make a combination of like oatmeal and gosh, I can't even remember what I'm using, but they're just general exfoliators. I mix them all together. And what they do is they abrade the skin a little bit just to exfoliate. And I got that idea, decades ago, when I realized that men who shave every day and they kind of exfoliate with their shaving and they pull the skin and stretch it and work it, men tend to have less wrinkles than women. And I think it's because they shave. And that's where I started the exfoliation. And the other thing I do, the backs of the hands, I exfoliate them somewhat, but when I squirt my my face cream, Renew face cream, to put it on my face, I squirt it on the back of my hand. And that means I will always be treating the back of my hand, and then I rub the back of my other hand as well. And I don't see people talking about that, but every time I do it, I think, oh, I should mention this on the show. But that's a way, how your age spots show on the back of your hands.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't know. Ginny, do we have reports? I know with the Renew serum, people talked about their wrinkles going away, and I don't know why they wouldn't also with the face cream. But we're after the fine wrinkles, sort of on the cheeks and the jowls. Your smile wrinkles are going to be there, and I hope they are there. We don't want to get rid of them and just walk around, with no facial emotion, like the models do. But Ginny, what's your experience?
I think that, there's anytime, like you said, there is an exfoliating quality to all the RNA drops products. I mean, as far as the face is concerned, but you can't guarantee wrinkles, on any level. I would just say try it like Carolyn says and enjoy it and expect the best. And I think it prevents aging. I mean, a lot of people who use the drops and have been using the Renew serum. I was with Sheila Kern this weekend, our artist, and her face is amazing. Deb West. I look at a lot of the people who are around us who've been using Carolyn, myself, who've been using the serum for a long time, and they have amazing skin, beautiful texture and everything. And so, I think if you use it preventatively, but is it going to reverse something? I don't know if we can claim that, but we certainly can say it's going to be beneficial in the long term.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. And it's interesting, Pamela, because I guess incrementally, my skin has stayed the same for a long time. So it's hard for me to say, well, what would it be like if I hadn't been doing what I do? And the face cream is the RNA serum, which, as Ginny said, it has probiotic qualities. And now they're talking about the need for probiotics on the face. I mean, what are you going to do? Put sauerkraut on your face? No. So we've got that in with the RNA. It's got the Remag lotion, and Remag is a hydrator. And if you can plump up your face and hydrate it, how people who are dehydrated, smokers, they just, their face looks very dry and wrinkled because they're not hydrated. And then I put in the whole C reset powder, and vitamin C is hugely used in cosmetics, but I think they just use the ascorbic acid form, but we use the whole C. So they're all designed to feed your face.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's where you get the brightness and just the glow. And people talk about that a lot. Yeah, so I can see, you can see where Ginny and I, we're not committing ourselves to, oh no, you'll get rid of your wrinkles. I mean, leave that to the Madison Avenue advertising who claims that, and it's a big lie. If you read the fine print, it's the appearance of wrinkles. So they're just hoping their hydration works, whereas with magnesium, it is a known hydrator. It will, if you put our Remag in a capsule, it'll eat right through the capsule because it wants to migrate into our cells. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. Okay, what else have you got? What else have you got?
That's it for me for today. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Oh, thank you. And you come up with the best questions, so we really appreciate that. You've been here before. You've been here before, Pamela. I know.
Yeah. Right. Well, everybody, Merry Christmas, everybody there.
Oh, Merry Christmas to you too. Thank you so much.
Thank you, love. Aloha. All righty. Wonderful, wonderful call. Let's go to area code 248. 248. I'm asking to unmute your phone by sending my blue button to area code 248. And if you could take a look at that, and there you are. Welcome, welcome. If you could give us your name and then state your question or comment.
Denise.
Oh, Denise.
Hi, how are you? I just had a quick question. I'm taking 4 teaspoons of Remag, 2 teaspoons of Pico Potassium, and 2 Remite. And I'm getting ready to add in Realign and Pico Silver and DK. I think it was, DK2. Yeah. I'm getting ready to add that. I just put an order in for zinc. I didn't even think about getting zinc, and I do have Pico Silver as well. That just came today. My question is, I don't know if I'm still taking the right amount. And secondly, my major question is, I don't know what's going on with me, but for the last 2 weeks, I'm having a hard time just sipping it throughout the day. I'm on thyroid medication, and they always tell you to wait 4 hours. And like on Sundays, I don't take the thyroid. I guess they said my thyroid was low, so not to take it on Sunday. And so it's so easy to do on Sunday, to sit throughout the day, because I can, as soon as I wake up, I can do it. But if you got to wait 4 hours, sometimes I get all thrown out, and it just hard. So I was wondering, is it possible to take like a 16.9 ounce, regular bottled water, and just put half of that in there, and then and drink it drink it in the morning, and then in the evening or like the afternoon, use another 6.9. Would that be, would be,
Yeah, but didn't we talk about this before, Denise, about this not taking thyroid with your magnesium? Didn't we go through that?
Oh, yeah, I just had an appointment last week, actually Friday. It wasn't last, it was Friday. And, when you have your doctor, they're like, you need to wait 4 hours. And, and then my peak, both of them were low. The magnesium and the potassium were low. And I was like, cool, I can just use Dr. Carolyn Dean, because she said, well, I said, no, I have Dr. Carolyn Dean. That's what I'm using. I don't want to use anything else.
Right.
I've had success with this, and this is what I'm doing. I have your whole product once the zinc comes in, it's supposed to come in too, and I would have everything of yours. And I've already got the supply for next month, starting January. So I'm just, my whole thing is with you guys. And I guess I was just getting frustrated and mad at myself, because sometimes I feel like I'm taking them all in the afternoon and evening, and I'm not sipping them throughout the day, and I guess I'm getting frustrated with myself.
Okay, so let's tackle this. Did your doctor ever say why you have to wait the 4 hours? Did they ever give you a decent explanation?
Well, actually, this is what I got from them, and when I called the pharmacist, and they were saying that the calcium, what did they say? Calcium, what is it? Calcium, iron, and magnesium, and all that would interfere with the absorbance of the thing, or something like that, and that's why it's better to take it 4 hours apart.
Okay, so here's what we know. The Remag, so the magnesium part of that equation, it's absorbing in your mouth. It's absorbing in your esophagus. It's absorbing in your stomach. It's all absorbed probably within an hour. Our university says studies says everybody had it all absorbed by 2 hours. Okay. So with our magnesium, there is no interference with thyroid medication.
Okay.
For years, I swallowed my Armour thyroid pill right along with my Remag drink.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's the difference in the absorption, and they're just afraid, well, what if, and I don't even know what study. I've never been able to find a study that says magnesium interferes with the thyroid drug absorption.
Yeah, they do have that on the internet if you Google it. And it does say when you put, can you take magnesium with thyroid or after thyroid, and it will. Some sites will say it will interfere with that. But I understand. I remember what you said. Don't put all your eggs in one basket on that. And I'm like I said, I'm excited. I'm ready, because I'm believing in my heart that I will get rid of this AFib. I've been having problems with low magnesium and potassium forever. And then I discovered from another doctor that having that low thyroid could also attribute to your irregular heartbeat. It seemed like everything was attributing to it. I'm like, okay, or contributing to it.
Right.
So
well, how have you been feeling, Denise? That's what I'm
I
interested
feel
in.
fine. I mean, be honest with you, I feel fine. I mean, the fact that I could not walk before all of this, I mean, literally, it would just to walk 2 steps, I would just be so winded. I'm out there
Oh.
walking now. Now I'm walking and talking. You know, that I didn't even know if I could do that anymore. So I feel great, and I want to do this. It's just that when I was feeling fine, but sometimes when those doctors and you
I
have your
know.
appointment, they start talking and saying stuff like that, and you know what, you need to take this, and we need to up this for your blood pressure. And I said, my blood pressure is fine. I was trying to explain that to them because we won't increase this. I mean, we won't do this or won't do that unless you come in and stuff. I said, well, right now I have my own blood pressure. I take it faithfully every single day, and I'm doing just fine. You know what I'm saying? So, but I just didn't want to make another appointment until next year. You know, and so since I've already had it, you want me to come in 2 weeks later, and I'm looking at it, but I feel great. You know, I just give God the glory. I said, I thank God for you guys. You know, and I want to do this right. I don't want to mess up on it. I'm really loving this because when I went back for I had my test last week for the thyroid because it was low. It was much better this time when I looked at it. And that's because I believe I'm taking the Remag. And so I want to add the Realign. That's the only one I just got that I need to add in. So that's supposed to be is that the B vitamins?
That's a B vitamins, and it's also a detoxifier. It supports the liver. So
wonderful.
Yeah, it'll take care of toxicity. But, you know, if we went back, Denise, to when you first started to call in, your voice is a whole lot different. Whole lot different. You know, you were tired in your voice. And now, I mean, you're just steaming along. It's wonderful.
Oh yeah, I have hope. Because of this, I said, my God, and I just thank God. I mean, I just praise him, you know, because I'm like, wow, I can actually walk, you guys. I can actually go to the car and I'm not winded. I can actually, you know, I took all of that for granted. And then once I was, you know, diagnosed with that AFib, that's what really, and I don't know if that psychologically messed me up or whatever, but I'm not afraid of that. I believe when I'm consistent with your product, that my heart will get remineralized and
remineralized. That's right.
Yes.
You don't have a heart problem. You have a mineral problem, and the doctors they haven't got that far. You know, they don't understand, and you know they're doing their best with what they know, but they don't know Jack.
Right.
They do not know Jack, and it is just horrible that you can go into an appointment with a doctor and come out feeling worse because of you know the stress and pressure they put on you, and you know you should be taking more drugs, and they probably don't even like to hear you say that you think the magnesium and whatnot is helping because they don't understand it. It's so sad. Or they try to give you a magnesium and potassium drug, and you know that they're not going to be absorbed.
Right. And I had that before, and it didn't do dilly squat for me.
It didn't do Jack.
Right. But I feel great. I'm so excited. I mean, I take this as if this is a life-saving thing, your products, you know. I said, take it like it is medicine. When I say medicine, I mean something good that will make you feel better. I don't mean drugs that the doctors prescribe. I call those drugs, you know what I'm saying, because they all have side effects. But medicine is something that you take that, you know, heals you and repairs your, you know, your body, and you feel good. And that's why I said I'm taking this every single day, you know. So, and I just want to know, am I doing the ratio right? 4 magnesium, 4 teaspoons and 2 potassium. I don't need to, because my potassium was low. It was like a 3 point or something. So should I raise it up to 2 and a fourth, or just leave it alone?
Well, maybe to get over the stress of the doctor's appointment.
Right.
Yeah, right. And I'm looking at, you know, I keep a file on the shows because I'm a speed typer. So I kind of take the words in through my fingers. So you were on, Denise, we had a while back, was on the keto diet. Were you on the keto diet?
I never started it. I'm going to start it January. The 1st of January, and I want to do intermittent fasting with it. So I've been doing so much. Yeah.
Yeah, because with the keto diet, we do have to be careful about getting enough potassium. So when you do the keto diet, you might have to go up to the 2.5 teaspoons of the peak of potassium. That's all.
That's fine with me. I don't have a problem as long as I'm ready for it. I'm ready. I just wanted to make sure everything was okay. So I've got everything. Everything arrived today, so I am all set for the end of this year and starting for the whole month of January.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, yes, the worst is over and the best is yet to come. So
absolutely. And you guys be so blessed and have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Same to you, Denise. Big hugs. Big hug. Thank you. Bye, hon.
Be blessed, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Oh, so much season of joy. Just the joy. It's absolutely wonderful.
I know.
Yeah, it's so wonderful. And we've had some great chit chats on YouTube, just with some of our listeners, Pat and Matt, talking back and forth about how they're working through their intermittent fasting, adjusting their potassium Remag. Been typing in, and very grateful for her emergency supply bottle of Remag lotion that came. You're welcome, Luna. We had a couple of those we had to keep on stuck back in the warehouse just for people who have that therapeutic need and really rely on that formula. But our new formula is almost ready. You guys are going to love it, and it's going to be in a jar that you can dip out with your fingers instead of a pump. And there's very many wonderful things happening with the Remag lotion. So you guys just hang in there. And thank you, everybody, for the comments on YouTube. It's been great. Again, hit that subscribe button and hit your notification bell so that we can get you used to knowing when the show's going to be on YouTube. Also, Luna asked, where did Ginny post the source of the nebulizer? So yes, it's on Amazon, and Carolyn read it. I think it's just the mesh
nebulizer.
Mesh nebulizer. It's a little handheld unit. Should be about $40. And it is on Amazon, easy to find. It's a sponsored product, so you shouldn't have a problem with that. So let's take our last phone call this evening, Carolyn. Also, I want to say Joanna's asking about using Remag in warm tea, and the answer is yes. Remag is stable from freezing to boiling. So we don't want you to boil it, but if you put it in a hot tea, it's absolutely not a problem.
Very good.
Yeah, absolutely not a problem. All right, let's go to area code 252. The great 252. We'll ask you to unmute your phone with the blue button, area code 252, and then we'll put you online with Dr. Dean this evening. Area code 252. You've got your little blue unmute button thingy coming through there to you. And then once you click that button, you'll be able to come through to the show.
Okay.
There you are.
Jenny, can you hear me?
I can hear you now, love.
Okay, thank you. My name is Sydney. How are you?
Good.
Hi, Sydney.
Well, doctor, I'm good. Hi. First of all, happy holidays to everyone.
Thank you.
I had my physical, and today, for the last 3 or 4 years, the other doctor's been telling me the kidney numbers were high and just keep drinking plenty of water. Today, this PA saw me and he said, I think you're in chronic kidney disease stage 3. And I'm saying, wow. When I look back through all my numbers, it's been the same the last 4 years. So all the doctors telling me, the numbers are a little high, but drink water if everything looks okay. And then he tells me this. So he was a PA. So I'm sitting there saying, wow. But he checked my numbers for the last 4 years, and it's been about the same. So it hasn't gotten worse. So I didn't know if the Remag or Remite or any of those things could help with that condition.
We've had a lot of experience with Well, our RNA reset drops, we've had people, reversing serious conditions, although we're not allowed to talk about that. Just forget I didn't say that, Sydney. Yeah.
All right.
And then the minerals, the Remag and Remite, all those minerals are necessary to heal tissues. And the problem, what they'll quickly tell you about, quote, chronic kidney disease is you can't take magnesium. And that's pretty much bunk. It's a terrible thing to say because, heaven forbid the people who don't take their nutrients and go on to be on dialysis, they're so magnesium deficient that they all have tachycardia and palpitations and leg cramps. So I write about all the kidney stuff in the Magnesium Miracle book. You can
I have that.
Oh, good. So you're reading the kidney chapter. So this stage 3, I'm looking up and looking for the numbers because I know when I've written about kidney disease and magnesium, because it's a big topic, for me to have doctors saying that you can't take magnesium because you have kidney disease. And, they call stage 1 kidney disease normal level. They say, if your kidney is normal, you have stage 1. And what I'm wondering, this PA, was it a young person?
Yes.
So they're just fresh out of school and they think that they can, kind of prevent people getting worse by trying to scare them into being concerned about stuff. And I don't know if they're changing the numbers on kidney, the chronic kidney, because see, Sydney, they did that with blood pressure. It used to be, 140 over 90. That was when you were getting into higher blood pressure. Now they say it's 130, even over 80, that it's high blood pressure. So that the more they find they can't help people, they try to diagnose them early and pretend like giving them drugs is going to help them. So, you may be caught in that thing where you've got a young, a young person who just wants to get in there and help you as much as they can, but they're actually hurting. It's incredible. But what I think I'll get you to do is if you write into support at RNA Reset and give me your numbers and everything, and just say, you talked to Carolyn on the radio show and she wanted to see my numbers, and then I'll just go through it, because most of what I say is just common sense, and I'm trying to figure out what these doctors are all about, because they're operating with half a deck. They don't have the whole picture.
Okay.
And they just,
so the numbers that you would want is the GFR and my creatinine. How do you pronounce that word?
Yeah, creatinine.
Yeah, creatinine. That's it. Yeah, I have that. And then my BUN, my bun is normal. GFR is 55. The last one you said was 1.5.
Right. See, they're just what they call it is preventive medicine. By scaring you there. But I don't want to assume too much on the phone. I'll get your information, and you'll tell me if do you have blood pressure, blood sugar, or cholesterol?
Yeah, blood pressure, yes, but it's under control. I've always kept that under control. I check it 2 or 3 times a day.
Right. And are you on meds?
Yes, I am on meds for blood pressure, yes.
So what I would do is when you send me the meds you're on, I'd look them up and see if they have the side effects of kidney disease.
Okay. And they didn't find any protein in my urine. There was no protein in there. So.
Right. Yeah, you just might have got, where maybe an older doctor will just say, well, you're okay, maybe it's a bit elevated, your GFR, you don't have that many cofactors, the blood pressure. So they're just easy about it. And then someone else comes along. See, that's what happens a lot with blood pressure, Sydney. The PA all of a sudden will say, oh, well, look, this patient has had a bit of elevated blood pressure for a couple of years. I think we should give a drug. And they're just, it must be, the pharmaceutical reps are teaching the med courses now, because everybody is just all about the drugs. It's just, it amazes me. But at the same time, I mean, with your blood pressure med, I would never say stop the blood pressure med. But what I would do is, tell you, well, maybe you need this much Remag and this much picopotassium. And then, as your blood pressure gets even a little maybe too low, then your doctor will say, okay, let's wean you off this blood pressure medication. That's what we're looking for.
Okay, great. All right.
Because if the meds you're on are like most meds I know, they can be causing tissue damage, and they could be damaging your kidney. How stupid is that? That you're, and then, and maybe the other doctor was thinking, well, I've got him on these medications that are going to damage his kidney. So the GFR is going to be a bit abnormal. I'm just going to let it go. They just think it's this incredible trade-off. But, when all the sides of the story, then you just, use your common sense and we'll figure out what to do.
Okay, I will email you that information. And once again, happy holidays, and thank you very much for your time.
Okay, Sydney, thank you for calling, and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you. You're welcome.
Yeah. Okay, Ginny, awesome call. We've had an incredible hour of fantastic people.
Yes. Wonderful interaction. And we've got 2 minutes to wrap up our show and to say our holiday, actually just one, to say our holiday greetings. Carolyn, I saw the Bethlehem star tonight and thought of you. It was beautiful. A beautiful light in between two worlds. And that reminds me of you. What would you like to say season greetings wise before we wrap it up?
Well, get that gift certificate for people. You've heard our callers, Sydney and Pamela and all the folks who their lives have been turned around by taking these products. So if you can gift people even just the Remag to start with, if they have any sorts of anxiety, insomnia, heart problems, tell them, stay on your meds. Don't worry about your meds. Just take the Remag. People you're worried about their immune system, get the Pico Silver and Pico Zinc. You really have to start doing something to offset what's going on with the stress that's rampant and what people think are infections that are rampant. What I say is we've let ourselves go. Our systems are run down and weakened, and we're vulnerable to whatever comes along. And we should be able to take care of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Merry Christmas to Deborah, Rachel, you, Dr. Dean, our wonderful executive producer, Bob, who's such a good executive producer. He doesn't even have to probably be in the building.
He's gone to the beach. He's already gone to the beach.
And Merry Christmas, Happy Holiday, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, whatever you're celebrating, we're there with you celebrating life 100% all the time.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
You've been listening to the Dr. Carolyn Dean live radio show. For questions about today's broadcast, email Dr. Dean at questions@drcarolyndeanlive.com. That's questions@drcarolyndeanlive.com.
This is Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe, relax, and enjoy.